Danny says when he found out Judy was on a weekend-long date with another man, he suddenly, in his words, in an instant, wanted Judy back. Now, here's an excerpt from a note that he wrote to her to try to get her back. He said, quote, "My tornado has stopped. The trigger was you might be with someone else, and that made me realize how much I love you. I am more in love with you now. I was never going to divorce you. That's why I never took any more furniture. I was just being an with my temper, but it is all gone. I will get you anything. Rings, cars, or we can travel anywhere. I have made one mistake in 33 years. I think I deserve a second chance. We're humans, not machines. We can start with counseling again." And you texted Lawrence and told him to back off.
At that very weekend, the same weekend she went away, I told him that, yes, I did. The number was on the counter. I did text him and I asked him to, as man to man, please back off. Let me try and fix my marriage. We have a daughter, grandchildren.
Did you know that he got a text?
Yes, Lawrence told me that he had texted Danny and he wanted to know how Danny got the text number. Because if I did not give it to him, that he was, he didn't really like that. But he did tell Danny that Danny is the one that brought the evil into the marriage, and that he wasn't going to walk away unless I told him to. He had no intentions of giving in to Danny.
So now you are completely clear on what you want to do.
Absolutely.
You want your marriage back together, your relationship back together. You want your wife back. You want to get back to this unreal life that you had before.
Yes, I am 10 times more appreciative of what I had or maybe still have than ever before. I love this woman more now than ever. Even after 33 years being together, my love is probably 10 times stronger. Obviously, because I've been waiting and putting, just waiting for her to maybe. I never know when the next day she might wake up and say, "I want to fix things with my husband again." So I'm more appreciative of my life, my wife, my beautiful family.
Yeah, but since you don't have any insight into why you just woke up and turned into a monster or whatever.
No.
Iceman.
Iceman, monster, got stupid, whatever we call it.
My brother has a version of it. He's a Christian man. He says maybe the devil's tried to divert you because of you coming closer to Christ, and I can't. He's my brother, and I can't ignore what he's saying.
Well, no, but I don't think the devil made me do it's going to get you.
No, I'm not saying that's what happened. That's his version.
No, and I don't. Listen, I'm very much Christian, and I don't make light of any of that at all. But since you don't have insight into why this happened to begin with, how can she know that it's not going to happen again next month or next year? Because it seems, it's kind of, and I don't mean to. This is not an insult to you. It's just. Please, but you see this, if there's a dog in the backyard and they've got a toy or a bone over there, it can lay there forever and the dog not have any interest into it. But you let another dog walk in that gate and walk over to that toy or bone and you got you a dog fight going on because the dog wasn't interested in the toy or the bone till another dog was. Then all of a sudden he wants to repossess it. He wants to re-own it. But then as soon as he does, then it loses its interest to him again. And that she's got to be thinking here, okay, so he instantly wanted me back when somebody else showed an interest in me, but he sure didn't for months before that. So now he repossesses me, the other dog walks out of the yard, and then I'm just over there again like the forgotten toy.
I understand.
That's got to be part of your concern because you're saying, am I going to walk away from Lawrence?
Right.
And back
Why
to
would
him?
I give up a good thing and go back to something that almost destroyed me? Why would I give him that?
Well, I'm going to answer that. Next, Judy says she can't choose between her husband, Danny, and her boyfriend, Lawrence. Danny, 33 years history. Lawrence buckled her knees. She wants to make a decision and says, whatever I say goes. I don't want that responsibility, but I am going to give him some things to think about. We'll be right back.
I'm in this situation now where I have my husband pulling on me, wanting me to come back to him, and then I have Lawrence on the other hand that wants wants to spend the rest of his life with me.
A couple months ago, I moved back into our home. We decided to try and fix our marriage. Everything was like normal. During those 4 days, it was like a honeymoon again. We were intimate every day. And then 4 days later, she said she wasn't ready to do it yet.
As long as I have those visions in my head of that other woman, I can't fix this.
She's still angry for what I had done and also had feelings for another person. So I continued living there, sleeping in another bedroom. She would continue to see him.
Bringing Danny back into the home has really impaired my relationship with Lawrence. I don't let Lawrence pick me up at my house. If I go away with Lawrence, I meet him somewhere. You have to be respectful.
Well, comment on that.
That's very painful to stay at home and watch that happen. But
He's been tortured since I let him move back in to see that I'm still living my life one day at a time.
But I have
You say it's respectful to go meet
It's
your boyfriend down the street.
well, the way I look at this is Danny dissolved my marriage vows. I have a marriage certificate. I don't have a marriage. He dissolved the vows that we took before God, and he dissolved them with his actions. So I don't have a marriage. I have a marriage certificate that holds me legally bound to him and all our assets together. But as for Lawrence coming and picking me up, I didn't want to disrespect Danny or hurt Danny. Danny is being tortured ever since he moved back into the house to see that Judy is up, functioning, living her life, and moving on one day at a time. Judy can't take a week at a time, but Judy can do one day at a time. And as for Lawrence, Lawrence is willing to accept one day at a time. You know, he knows that there might not be a tomorrow for him. He wants me to be happy, and he wants me to be in my happy place. Danny did not care if I had a happy place. And for him to want me back now, how do I trust that? I don't know how to trust that. But I'm like thinking like you were just saying. The dog didn't want the bone, and then the dog wants the bone now because another dog wanted the bone. You know? So
I knew you'd get it.
I got it. I got it. But the thing is, Lawrence doesn't want to give up his bone now. He's not willing to do that.
and neither does Danny.
But I'm at the point where now, you know, I don't know if I want to be married ever again.
It's time for me to tell you what I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say something?
No.
You are still hugely pissed. If you want to be happy and at peace this time next year, then you will make the investment of doing what I'm going to ask you to do. You have unfinished emotional business with him.
I do.
You are still hugely pissed.
I'm hugely pissed, and I'm, you know, Dr. Phil, here's the thing. I've loved this man with all my heart. Sexually attracted to him after 33 years, can't get enough. You know, I'm sorry.
No, I
I'm
get
sorry.
it. I get it. But here's the thing. Lawrence, charming, fun, high-risk guy, though, right? You recognize the high
Right.
risk? I'm telling you, high risk. Okay, here you have unfinished emotional business. If you want to be happy and at peace this time next year, then you will make the investment of doing what I'm going to ask you to do. Give me 90 days to arrange some very specialized help for the two of y'all to work through where you are right now. If you go with Lawrence right now, you will spend the rest of your life wondering what it is that caused you to walk away from a 30-year family. Your daughter, the grandchildren, that all of the things that y'all created together. And it's going to have to involve forgiving him. That doesn't mean you will forget it. You got to be willing to let that go. And there may be some things you may need a pound of flesh before you do that. There may be some things you need to work out. And I will arrange some just as our gift to y'all, I will arrange some very specialized help to do this. Give me 90 days, or if it's 60 days, whatever the intensity is, but I need a period of time for you to finish this business and then look at him where you don't see that other woman. You see the man that you spent 33 years with that got dinner ready for you so you could watch me. Okay? If I arrange this for you, and I mean, I will start it right now. I mean, by the time y'all get back, where you're in the air, this will be getting worked on for you to get
I'll
this
do
help and move forward. Will you give us that
I
time?
do.
Now, there's a kicker. No Lawrence during that time.
Okay.
No Lawrence during that time. You gotta
Right
say.
now? Starting right now?
You can talk to him. You can talk to him and tell him what you're going to do and
Okay.
ask him to respect that period. But you never solve problems in a marriage by turning away from your partner. And you never solve them by bringing in a third party.
Okay.
Okay? So, will you do that?
I will. I will.
Fair enough?
I will. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough?
Thank you. Oh, absolutely.
So I was telling you, up next, another wife torn between her husband and another man, her doctor. Why? Well, every time she gets a headache, she thinks it's brain cancer, or a case of dry heaves is a tumor. Her poor husband is beyond frustrated.